in this month. And I don't know why God is having me to have you guys to preach such messages and things that we've been preaching here this month. But won't you high five about 3 people and tell them, neighbor, it's about time for my miracle. High five about 3 other people and tell them, neighbor, it's about time for my miracle. You may be seated. 2015 was not a great year for many of us.
Amen.
But 2016 is going to be the greatest year for all of us.
Amen.
You've got to begin to speak those things that are not as though they were. And if you really believe it's time for your miracle, you got to declare that it's time for your miracle.
Amen.
It is not the time for you as saints of God, as people of God, as children of God, to sit around with your mouth closed and not decreeing and declaring what you want to see happen. In order for things to change in your life, in order for the atmosphere of your finances, the atmosphere of your family, the atmosphere of your relationship, your marriage, your children to change, you got to speak it into the atmosphere. You got to stop giving yourself a pity party. You got to stop being mouth about the situation. Stop always wanting somebody to pat you on the back and feel sorry for you. You got to get to a point that if God doesn't do it, I know He can. If it doesn't happen today, God it may happen tomorrow. It may happen next week. But look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't know how much faith you got. But in this season, it's time for my miracle. I suffered too long. I gone through too much. I got to cry too many nights. I had wet my pillow. But now this is the time for I'm preaching.
Glory.
So like this man at the pool of Bethesda, and like the woman in our text, I know there are some people who today they got some issues. Oh, you think you trying to fool everybody else like you got it all together. But if they only knew what it took for you to get those shoes you got on your feet. If they only knew how you had to scrape up to get the gas to get to church this morning. If they only knew that you on the last little bit of bread in the cabinet, the milk is low and the corn is low and bills are, and the first come quicker than you ever thought. Y'all looking at me funny. Didn't I just pay the rent? Didn't I just pay my car? Didn't I just pay myself in for me? But if you be truthful with yourself, some of you got some serious issues. And let me help you understand what an issue means is to pass or flow out. As in our text, this woman had a physical condition that created an issue of blood. Right? She was continually passing blood. She had an unnatural flow of blood. I emphasize the woman's condition this morning because it represents many of us on the issues that we have today. The blood is the life of the flesh. That means this woman was dying. And many of us are dying spiritually. Right? Not so much physically, but we're really dying spiritually. We got the shout down.
Preach.
We got the lifting of the hands down.
Preach.
We even got the speaking in tongue down. But the truth of the matter is, if I would look at your spirit, if I could see past your outer court and look inside your heart, your spirit is dying. It's not dying because you're not getting the word or hearing the word.
Not
it's
applying.
dying because you're not applying the word.
That's it.
And what has to happen in order for your spiritual man, am I helping you this morning? In order for your spiritual man to grow, you got to apply what you've been taught. You got to apply what you read. It makes no sense to go to grade school if the teacher's teaching and when it's test time, you don't put application to it. You don't apply what's going on. I can say I know God. I can say I believe God. But until I apply what God has shown me in His Word, my life is still going to be the same. I'm still going to have the same situations. I'm still going to have the same circumstances. I'm still going to have the same issues. Now, when we speak of an issue, we are speaking about the situation or condition that is draining your life. Truly, it's killing you. Some of y'all, it was hard for y'all to get to church this morning. It wasn't because it was cold outside. You just had to push yourself. But if you really understood what happens when you get to the house of God, when Monday comes, you couldn't wait till Sunday comes.
Amen.
When you really understand the significance of coming together in corporate worship, coming together with those that are like-minded, coming together with those that may be going through a storm just like you, but they're yet encouraging you, they're yet speaking life to you, they're yet praying for you. If you really understood the essence of when you walk into the house of God, that this is the house of faith, this is the saints' hospital, this is your place of deliverance and healing. If you really understood that when Monday comes, you'd be like, ooh, I sure wish it was Sunday. I sure wish. But because we don't understand the significance of forsaking not the assembling of ourselves together, we all right with just staying at home.
Right. Preach.
We all right with just chilling in front of the TV. We all right with not giving God what's due to Him, but when we need something from God, then still we have the audacity, have the nerve to go ask Him for something when you ain't never done what you're supposed to do.
Amen.
Now, how would you feel if you told your son or daughter, wash the dishes, take out the trash? I know I'm going. And they don't do it. But then they said, Mama, I need $10. I want to go to the movies or skating or whatever y'all doing now. Now, would you give them the $10? Y'all looking at me funny. No. Or would you ever get out of my face? Or have you lost your mind? Those dishes still dirty. You ain't taking out the trash, and you have the nerve to ask. I'll catch you later on. Do you not know that's how God looks at us when we come to Him, and all He asks us to do is live right, walk justly, obey His commandments, and then we have the nerve to say, God, I need a new car. God, I need a ball ass, not a rope. God, I need this. I needed God to say, you ain't did what I asked you to do first. It wasn't much. I didn't ask you to do much. God never asks us to do anything that He doesn't know that we can do. Amen. And then if it's something that we cannot do, the Bible comes along and says, I can do all things.
Yes.
Yes. Strengthen me. So if you can't do it, He said, I'll come along and help you do it.
Yes.
Tell your neighbor, you got some issues. Tell him, I know you're a prayer warrior. I know you know the word. But tell him, you don't be scared to talk to him. Tell him, I know you know the word. I know you're a prayer warrior, but you got some issues. You got some issues. Now, it may be an issue of your finances. It may be an issue of your health. It may be an issue in your mind, your emotions. It may be a marriage issue. You may have an issue with pornography or drugs or alcohol. You may have an issue with fornication or adultery. You may have a jealousy issue or an anger issue or unforgiveness issue. You may have an issue of pride or criticism or rebellion or prejudice. But an issue is an issue. And my issue may not be your issue. But it doesn't change the fact that you ain't no better than me, because we all got issues. You understand? We all got something that we're dealing with. We all got something that we're struggling with. Now, wait a minute. Let me help you with this struggle, because y'all done got this new age Christian stuff.
Preach.
That's how everything is struggle.
Preach.
A struggle is something you're trying to stop doing.
Yes.
I ain't struggling if I'm screwing every day and every night and I ain't married. I ain't struggling. I'm doing that on purpose. Y'all looking at me funny.
Preach.
I ain't struggling if I'm drugging, if I'm doping, if I'm getting drunk. That ain't no struggle.